Yeah. Odaro.
Niceness.
Ekale.
To each and every one, we are here once again on the Orisa We Have Life on the street, 919 FM. I must say, Iriwo ya.
Ayabo, ayato.
Iriwo ya.
Ayabo, ayato.
Iriwo ya.
Ayabo, ayato.
I greet you all in the name of Olodumare,
Ashe.
the Almighty Creator.
Ashe.
I greet you all in the name of Orisa and Laosiri.
Ashe.
I greet you all in the name of Orisa and
Ashe.
Gungun.
Ashe.
May Orisa and La bless us all.
Benny.
May the Ori and the Ori Inu, the one that dances in front of the mat, be in total alignment. Let the bright light of E.G. Ogbe continue to illuminate
Ashe.
our lives. My reverence to God, He that spreads all over the universe.
Ashe.
Reverence to the dawn of the day. Reverence to sunset.
Benny.
Ashe.
Reverence to Mother Earth.
Ashe.
Reverence to Urumila.
Ashe.
Witness to creation.
Benny.
Reverence to the 200 Iromole
Ashe.
on the right hand side of God.
Ashe.
Reverence to the 200 Iromole on the left hand side of God.
Benny.
Reverence to the 401 Iromole, the ones that shuttle between heaven and earth.
Benny.
Reverence to Akuda, the first IFA student.
Ashe.
Reverence to Asida, Akuda's first student.
Ashe.
Reverence to the mothers, the beautiful birds.
Benny.
Ashe.
Reverence to one's ancestors.
Ashe.
Reverence to one's mother.
Ashe.
Reverence to one's father.
Ashe.
Reverence to one's Olowo.
Ashe.
Reverence to one's Ojobona.
Benny.
Ashe.
About issue, we ask you to open the doorway for us, that we may be able to connect and edify and educate those streaming live on Facebook on the Street 919 FM and those viewing us on YouTube. I say, I respect the spirit of a divine messenger. I respect the spirit of a divine messenger. I respect the spirit of a divine messenger. I am MC Duke. I have become Alatu Mishe Ifaba Mishe Aganki. Divine messenger, speak with power. Man of the crossroads, I respect the spirit of a divine messenger with all my soul. The divine messenger is the first one who I praise. I respect the one we salute by dancing in a circle. Divine messenger, I greet you. Divine messenger, I greet you.
Ashe.
Divine messenger, I greet you.
Benny.
Divine messenger, I am greeting you. Divine messenger, I am greeting you.
Ashe.
Divine messenger, I am greeting you. Divine messenger has a voice that roams the universe. Divine messenger, do not confuse us. And we ask that Baba Ogun continue clearing the pathway for us.
Ashe.
That this show, your Ifa Orisa Way of Life, may expand to higher heights.
Benny.
And may it have long life,
Benny.
good health, strength. May we be blessed.
Ashe.
May we be blessed. I pay respect to the elders of my space, the Yami Egbe Imo located in Konopia. Are Ifa Lashe Orisa Lashe Gun Leti Egbe Pomeleri. Ya Ga Igun Bemi Beyoya. Ye Obadi Ola Feyomi. Ishubaye Feyoma Timileri. Shaka.
I give homage to all elders across this land of Trinidad and Tobago and across the region. I pay a special homage to my Uluwo, my Yanifa, my Ujubona, my mother, my father, my contemporaries. I offer a special prayer that in light of this COVID-19 pandemic, may we hold faith and hold to steadfastness so that we could overcome and see a brighter day. I ask for a special pathway for those who are in making their transition to the ancestral planes in this time. May they arrive there safe and without any hindrances. I ask that all the missing children, the missing young girls in this land of Trinidad and Tobago, may they be found and may their perpetrators be brought to justice. A special prayer for intervention for all the battered women across this land of Trinidad and Tobago who are suffering at the hands of abusers and domestic violence. May this come to an end, and may a brighter day befall them. Ashe?
Ashe.
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 Ashe. My guest tonight is, I will say, the Yoruba dictionary, the encyclopedia, the ever-energetic, edifying, lectorial, Baba Okan.
Okan, how are you?
Baba Okan, how are you, Baba Okan?
Very. Dadani.
Yes, so we are continuing the conversation about, but first I got to pay the bills.
Yes. Yeah, the bills.
Those sponsors who have been paying the way to make sure that this program is a success.
Ashe.
As we say, drip by drip, we'll fill the basket. You know, and we ask members of the diaspora to continue supporting us, to continue giving us that effort and that strength and that finance to continue having this program.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to tell you about the right train called Travee, Travee. It is the most reliable, it's the most comfortable, it's the most affordable, and it beats all the other ride sharing apps rates. Download today on Google or Apple Store. It has pre-booking features, SOS features, right now features. Did I tell you it's the most affordable? Download on your Google and Apple Store today. Travee, Travee.
The IWER Orisa School of Enlightenment is here and ready to welcome all children ages 2.5 to 5.5 years old to learn in a unique and exciting environment. Who are the Yoruba people? Where was the Mali Empire? Who is Gangang Sarah? What is IWER Orisa? Your child will learn the answers to all of these questions and more. Our Ministry of Education approved curriculum includes storytelling, drumming, drama, music, dance, and other exciting teaching tools. We offer learning in a caring, safe space as we instill positive values. For more information and to register your child, like us on Facebook or call us at 366-7558. The IWER Orisa School of Enlightenment, a preschool that will transform your child.
The IWER Orisa way of life is kindly sponsored by Omo Inu, All Things Woman. Their contact number is 365-4332. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. They are the Women's Haven distributor for Trinidad and Tobago. We also have the Lock Duck. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Their contact number is 352-5706. We are also sponsored by Bridal Bouquet TT. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Their contact number is 491-7539. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Thank you.
Sponsors for the Orisa way of life: Nice Nuts Quinlan brand bottled coconut water for the freshest and the most purest coconut water. Their contact numbers are 716-6396. Kamara's Culture Store, the #1 important supplier of genuine products from Africa, located at Adams Bazaar, Main Road, Shoguanas, 672-8438, 320-8866. Gossip Gel Polish, 382-7587. Pedi Barisi, 398-4474. Temple Ojuba Orisha, Umelu, Egypt Village, Shoguanas. Banjela Music Productions. Nubian Experience, clothing that tells part of our rich African history. Number 6 Woodford Street, Arima. Contact number 688-1979. Oriomi Nicole Huggins, Health and Wealth Lifestyle. Number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Onyx Trading, Wholesale and Retail Minimart. Number 1 Cemetery Street, Dago Martin. So we're back at it.
Yeah.
The Orisa Way of Life. That was the sponsors, and we're reaching out to every black-owned business. You don't have to contribute $1 million. But once you come to us and let us know that you now open a business, you might be able to give a small contribution. You might be able to give this month, but we are willing to put your business out there. Once we put your business out there in return, things will happen. Olodumare will make a way. And things will happen for you. So again, we are on the aspect and characteristics of Obatala for this month, because you know the Obatala festival is coming up on the 29th.
29th or the 30th?
The 30th of January. It's not going to be like how it was in the past. It's going to have a small market. There's going to have a lead up of events happening before the festival. COVID protocols must be observed. And IFA teaches us of obeying the laws of the land. So I'll start with this and we'll take it away with Baba Okan, who is here. And soon I'll be joined by Iya Into Springer. She'll be also online. Obatala stands for morality, purity, and patience. He rules ahead. He is the molder of choice clay. Obatala is considered the patron of the crippled, blind, albino, dwarfs, and all other afflicted or deformed people. He has the power to make his children great. He gives man creativity, wisdom, and leadership. Orishanla owns all colors but prefers white. His foods are egg-bean snail, Ian pounded yam, Ori shea butter, Ifun cascarilla, Egbo cooked mashed corn, Obi, Ifun white cola nuts, Umi egg-bean snail water, Umi otun fresh water, Umi agbon coconut water, Unji ate bland food, Wara milk. His taboos are Imu upi, palm oil, palm wine, arrow dye, Eo salt, Adin palm kernel oil, Ajad dog, Ishu, Isuru stadium, Ina light, Oti, gin. Symbols of Obatala, Opa Osoro, Obatala staff, the walking stick, Sisifun, white beads, Ogidan Agba, tall jump for Obatala, Adi Obatala, hat with parrot feathers, Irukiri, or steel staff, Ada Orisha, Obatala sacred cutlass, Uruawi freshwater vase, Idirin elephant tooth, Egba Obatala sacred bowl that holds his belongings. Animals associated with Obatala are elephant, boa constrictor, chameleon, horse, and snail. His homes are Ifuntong, Oki Isokan, Okitase, and Iranch. The Udos primarily associated with Obatala, Ijiogbe, Osa, Ogunda, and Ofun. So,
Osameji also.
Osameji, yes. You are here to make that correction, that addition. So, just like to shout the folks streaming on Facebook, JG Simmons, who asked what does plaid mean in Ifa? Represents ancestors. I was just told that. And Ziga just figured out off the bat. So we are here once again. Baba Okan, it is all in your lap.
Well, let me just send out greetings to first to the people who are locked on. I greet you. I must send special greetings to my ear K and her husband. They were on the program recently.
Done it live.
Beautiful. So I must send out greetings also to the shrine. The original name of the shrine was St. Anne's Healing Tabernacle. It's a Yemonja shrine. So we call it now Yemonja Ago Iwosun. Yemonja. Because Yemonja plays a very important role, has played a very important role throughout that lineage. Yemonja and Shakpana. The two of them have been always central in that lineage. So even though as each generation comes, you find, like, for example, when the work had passed from her mother, from her grandmother to her mother, it was Yemonja Shakpana. But when it passed to her mother, it was Mother of the Earth and Osain.
Benny.
And then when it went to her, it went back to Yemonja. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, if I'm saying something wrong, she's on the line. She'll correct me.
Yes.
Yes, so I send all my greetings to that beautiful shrine. Very progressive, with a vision. I must always compliment what we call Rev, the Baba of the shrine. Because he has a vision and is a man of integrity. Something so very rare. And of course, my other shrine is Sister Eva. Very loving people. She and Baba Fidel. I send greetings to you and the shrine. I don't know if they're on.
That's what you do.
That's
Yeah. So we are in the discussion as we are on the topic of Obatala this month, and for somebody who now tuning, who now trying to understand who and what is Obatala, and you know during this time of the year to Carnival, there's an aspect lined or linked with Obatala. So we're here for you to extempore and bring us of the knowledge that you have.
We traditionally hold Obatala in very high esteem. The old people wouldn't say Obatala, they would say Abatala. Just a slight variation. The old people would say Abatala because that's how old people speak. The old people of the past. And because of the reverence that they had for Obatala, they would have him in the center of the altar in the chapel. Now, in the shrine, the old shrines that came out from the days of Paniza, like Mother Rose, etc., and it's still so, the shrines are still, people who came from that stream would still have those, and have it the way that you have Obatala in the center, and you'd have Orunmila on one side, and you would have a powerful female deity on the female side. We're talking about three in front, the altar. And because of that, you could not use any alcoholic beverage in front the altar, because you may want to give Shango some wine, but Shango is not in front of the altar. Okay? And that reflects a particular statement taken from an Odu, that Orunmila, who loves palm wine, as he says, he nursed palm wine on his mother's breast. Orunmila is in his palm wine self. But because of his respect for the venerable father of Obatala, he wouldn't drink palm wine in his presence. He wouldn't have any alcoholic beverage in his presence, but rather, and this is in the corpus of literature you find in the Odus, you find that we essentially had the same attitude The same way, where once you're dealing with Obatala, no alcohol. Of course, we know today, because of the different streams that come from Nigeria, that in Ile-Ife, apparently they use alcohol. But in our tradition, we don't. And we know that in most places, as far as I know in Nigeria, they don't either. But there are places that do. And those that do tell you that they are honoring Obatala as Orisa A, the warrior. You know, he has a warrior aspect. So,
Okay.
but, and then there are those that tell you that when you see have alcohol in a Obatala festival, it is for Ochosi, his chief god.
Okay.
There are a lot of different. But one of the things that I note is that a lot of things that the elders of the past did were correct. But because the people today don't know much about the tradition, they would condemn certain things. Like, for example, we honor Shango on a Friday. Shango, the god of thunder and lightning, is honored on a Friday. He, Oya, Aganju, Bayani, Dada, they are honored generally on a Friday. And, you know, people will ask a question, why? But when you go, let's say to researchers who have been to Nigeria, who have been able to identify in Oshogbo that the Oshun festival normally starts on a Friday, and Mr. Murphy, who wrote a book on Oshun, Over the Waters, noted that there was conflict in Oshogbo because the majority of people in Oshogbo are Muslims, and Friday is the holy day for Muslims. But if Friday is the holy day for Oshun and Shango, he noted that Oshun, Shango, is Friday. But Juma is also Friday. And because a lot of the people who are Muslims take part in the Oshun festival, you found conflict arising. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that told me that our elders of the past, who have been doing something for some 200 years, knew what they were doing. Because of the way our Orisha worship is structured in Trinidad, we have feasts normally from Tuesday to Saturday morning. And we have the opener of the feast, that is Ogun, the one who clears the way. And the one who closes is normally Shango, when he comes and he eats. That's the end of the feast. And that normally is Saturday morning. We make offering for him on a Friday morning. And of course, everyone who is involved in this tradition would know that Friday morning is the most, let's say, the tensest part of your whole feast, because this is when you offer Shango the sheep. And I can tell you, historically, men like Isaac Lindsay didn't play with his sheep. You couldn't say you get in a manifestation and go and touch his sheep. You could get butter on the palate. These people didn't make joke with that because they recognize that this is a critical part of your feast, and if this part goes wrong, and I can tell you of times when it did go wrong, even in recent times, people died. But because in speaking on air, I might have to call name or make reference, I don't want to go any further with that. But I can tell you, you do play. Not with Shango sheep. Not with Shango sheep. It's the most important part of your feast, Friday morning. And when people dress, they change their clothes, they dress in white, they interpret. No. Our elders taught us, prayer is prayer. We don't care whether they pray in English or French, because most of the elders spoke broken English, broken patois, and Yoruba. As you would have heard me mention before, the last Yoruba speakers died somewhere in the 70s. And of course, because of the Black Power movement that brought a certain amount of African consciousness, because of that, you had people taking interest. People began to take interest, but the people who followed the system, they didn't play. They learned the Yoruba prayers, and there are people in Trinidad who are traditionalists who can rattle certain Yoruba prayers clean. And really, you'd be surprised the wealth of knowledge that still exists even this time, but it's just that the traditional people don't come out. The old people, they don't come out because they have those that push themselves in front. And so the elders and we tend to stay back. We tend to stay back, and as an elder, I'm young to some of them. I'm young to some of them. I mean, there are people that will not come out because they believe that they don't want to be on air to speak about things that are so sacred to them. If I'm, for example, I'm speaking to you and I'm telling you about Friday morning, Shango, and the relationship, and the fact that in Oshogbo, Friday, Shango Day too. And a person might then ask, well, what do you do with the head of the sheep? And I will have to tell you on here, I can't tell you that. It's not that I don't know, but I can't tell you that. That is not something that can be discussed. Because this worship was able to stay alive because there are secret aspects to it. There are things in it that are secret, and sacred. And that's why we call Mother the Earth the mother of secrets and Shakpana the father of secrets. Not everything you could come out and talk. But there are things that I can tell you on here.
Shaka, you want to say something?
Well, in terms of what Baba is saying, in terms of protecting the priestly order of the tradition, it is very, very much important, because this is what kept our ancestors alive. It has what kept, certain key information that helps us to get by. Now, when Baba had started the discussion, he spoke about Obatala, and he spoke about, the different ways that people serve Obatala. Within the last 2 decades, there were persons, and I stand corrected, there were persons who had initiations into Obatala based on the coming of Babalawos in this land of Trinidad and Tobago. And based on one's initiation, taboo of that person for Obatala would vary. Some people may be able to eat pork, and some people may not be able to eat pork. So it is based on a person's destiny that certain things would not be the same. As well as Obatala temple in Iranje, Ideta town in Ile-Ife, they use alcohol when serving Obatala, but they don't use palm wine to serve Obatala. But I guess here in the diaspora, based on certain things that happened during colonialism, there may be variations, or there may be variations based on the different parts that Obatala, the Otis came from. But I know for sure back where Obalesun, Obatala is, they serve Obatala with alcohol.
Yes, I know that there are some of them, that some places, as I said earlier on, some places in Nigeria do that. But there are some places that don't.
Yes. And what I just would like everyone to know too, based on your connection with Obatala through initiation, you would find out what is the best way for you to approach your Obatala shrine, because a person may have a different aspect of Obatala that would take gin or would take water alone and other things.
Well, people like me would tell you, okay, that's your Obatala, you keep that Obatala.
Yeah.
Don't even invite me.
Well,
and the reason for that, I'm speaking now as an elder.
Ashe.
The reason for that is because we were taught that every Orisha walks with someone behind them that is not an Orisha, but rather on another side. And as a result, because of the holiness of Obatala, we don't play that. We don't play that at all, because we know that there are spirits out there. I didn't want to say anything more than the word spirit. But there are forces, energies out there that follow. They follow Shango, they follow Obatala, they follow, you call him. Shakwana is the most famous. And if therefore you are going to offer a bull to elephant, or as they say elephant, some say elephant, you're going to offer me on a and you take alcohol because you're accustomed giving your Obatala alcohol. See? You use alcohol with the bull. Now I will be watching you from someplace hidden and far. Because when the lightning bolt strike, it mustn't pass near me. Get my drift? And then worse yet, to have the Orisha and them turn and tell me, well, you were supposed to know better. That's a kind of hard pill to swallow. So who wants to use alcohol for the Obatala? Go brave. That's how you do it. Go brave. But I will have no part of that, because I am totally afraid. Totally afraid, because I know what mistakes like that can do.
It's not that somebody would knowingly do what is wrong, based on your spiritual guidance, based on your spiritual teaching, and based on your guidance from your Uluwo or your spiritual leader who has done divination for you, you would proceed along those veins. As we know within our tradition, we get our guidance from our elders, who are our Yanifas, our Babalawos, our priestess, our Baba Ifa, we get our guidance. And based on a person's instruction, they would proceed along at the front line.
Okay, let me say something. You make a good point, because today we are fortunate enough to have the guidance of Ifa in the sense of divination.
Ben.
Now, traditionally, we lost the Ikin and the Okpele. We have lost it because they don't have Okpele trees in Trinidad. And the Ikin trees, the question is whether they were imported or whatever. But it seems that our elders did not know them. Now hear me. For the work to continue, two things happened. One, in Catholic countries, Orisha was able to hide under the Catholic umbrella with the saints, yes? That happened in Trinidad, Haiti, all over the world, in the diaspora. Okay? But something else happened. To join or to come into the Orisha work, you had to be called. You couldn't just, well, you could, just say, I want to get involved in this and look for a way to get involved. In the old days, you went into a palais, and you wanted to get more involved. You say, look, I want to baptize. And the baptism became an initiation into the work. Yeah? Because many people who got baptized never went further than baptism, and they get the gift. And not only that, they began, the key was that when you got this gift, you begin to see. You became a seer. So there was no need, or rather we never depended on the divination of the Ikin, because we had lost that. We lost the Opele. The only thing we had was Obi Banja. And we became very adept. Our ancestors became adept at reading Obi Banja to the extent where they could tell you a lot of stuff by just watching how the Obi fall. I've been there, done that. But the key to the work was sight. If you were to get this Orisha work, they normally give you the what we call the defense for it. And the defense for Orisha work was what? Your spiritual sight. Because if you didn't have spiritual sight and things start to go wrong and you just start to do your work, you could find yourself into some serious problems because you don't have the ability to see. Now, the person who could see, and today getting less and less of them, but the person who could see, if you come into their presence, your aura comes and interacts with a seer, the seer will begin to mind your business, because that's their business. Their business is to mind your business. Here, let me repeat that. The business of the seer is to what? Mind your business. So once your aura interacts with the seer will begin to what? Mind your business. Okay? And this is how the people of the past survived. This is how the work survived. Okay?
I just want to touch on some of the comments by the viewers on Facebook. Jamie Simmons says here, Friday nights is dress up ladies come out with their best outfit. Shango is the woman darling. Ian Paul says Ashe Orisha Lashe Ogunlade died some Nubian experience. He says Abora Boya Bosushe. Jamie Simmons says here again, ancestors died with their knowledge. Because of what you see now, it will be misused in the wrong way. Omotayo from Oshunmeji says, Abora Boye, are there not Iken trees in our wonderful botanic gardens?
Yes, they are. She's correct.
I did not even know that.
Yes, they are. You have Iken trees all over Trinidad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Shaka, what's this something now? Watching going on there, you know?
Well, I'm listening to the discourse that Baba is bringing based on his knowledge and based on his experience. And
the fact that sight is very important in this work.
Right? And based on our ancestral teachings as well, we know that we had ancestors that spanned for many, many centuries. And even though there was a period where we thought that things had been lost, it was due to the prayers and the sacrifices of our ancestors that made it possible for us on this day and this time to reclaim what they was not able to use. You know, so at a particular time, as Baba had stated, they did not have the Iken, they did not have the Upwelle, but they used Obi Banja.
Yeah.
And they knocked their Iggy, they prayed, and they had feasts, and they made sure that we are back here within this space and time to pick up where things was left off. As our Uru Ifa is, Ifa is the beginning, the middle, and the end. So based on whatever time period we are in, as Ogbe Ugunda says, when we wake up in the morning, we must know our destiny. We must know our blueprint. We must know our destiny.
Now you're using an Udu, which is very interesting.
I just want to just finish.
Sorry.
Abba. We must know our destiny. And even though there was a time when we thought that certain things were lost, the Orisha used our elders, and based on their faithfulness and reverence to the Orisha, they were able to connect with them on that same level that you are speaking about.
Yep.
And based on that, they were able to break those barriers to lead us back to what they used to use before, so that we can be further strengthened. Because a lot of us would watch the Holy Bible and think that that is the only book for people to learn moral conduct and principles. But we as Ifa Orisha devotees, we have 256 chapters of knowledge, and it can be expanded by 1,680 verses
Per each Udu.
So if you can imagine the vast amount of knowledge that our ancestors kept for us, and by the day people are learning verses of Ifa that could help us break barriers to go forward in this land of Trinidad and Tobago.
No, as you're saying, sorry, go ahead.
So it's a beautiful thing when we could really connect with our ancestors. Some of us would see them in dreams and visions, but they say that Obatala is strongly associated with dreams. And it is so beautiful when we could make that connection with Obatala and dreams. Because sometimes it's based on the faithfulness and the reverence that we have to our ancestors that we are able to communicate with them in our dreams. And they will come and teach us certain things that you would not even find in a book.
That's right.
Hence why there are certain things within our tradition. It must never go public. It must remain in the bosom of that.
Stay in the priest. In the priest.
It must stay in the.
But I want to say something
order.
because of lately, you know, when you watch feasts and you watch certain things that happening in the diaspora, you see people with their phones, they're taping, they're recording, you know.
Before you had to have permission to do that. The spirit had to give permission.
And not only that, when you have a phone, right, in our prayers, how much focus are you focused on what is really taking place? How much focus? How much focus are you really focused when someone is making a positive contribution, or there is a time when learning is to take place? Or how observant are you when you constantly on a phone?
Point.
So it goes back to, we have to go back to the old practice of being faithful and being disciplined in our tradition, so that our ancestors could fully resonate on us to teach us.
Oh, by the way, that's what kept us alive, huh?
Benny.
Well, just let me send some greetings to greetings from Egbe when I send Iludumari as they celebrate 50 years anniversary, the 50th anniversary. That's down in Pity Valley by Chief Olodari.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we have definitely.
And Ziga readers, sending a question here. Obatala and Dreams, can you elaborate? We'll be joined shortly by Iya Pearl to Springer from 8 o'clock, right? So she'll be speaking about Obatala and the connection he has with Carnival, you know.
No, as
if you want to tackle that question there, Obatala and Dreams, can you elaborate?
Well, when you say Obatala and Dreams, you know the word La La Land? A person La La Land? Meaning Dreamland?
Yeah.
Where that come from that?
Yeah.
Allah, dream. So when you say La La Land, it's actually a term that came from the Yoruba experience with Obatala being the controller of dreams of Allah.
But Baba, I keep asking this question, and why it is, and I asked Yeyala last week, why it is that in feast there seems to be no connection or no veneration or libation being poured to Obatala. And a lot of yards you go, you will find that. And there's only a few yards. I'm not going to call it because the people, let's say, always call them yard. But as I'm saying that because I like to me share, I am a Obatala initiate. And sometimes I will stand there and I will say, but why?
Last year was a leap year, so it was what you call the elephant year. So Obatala was revered throughout last year. As dread as the year was, Obatala was definitely revered throughout that year because it was a leap year. We normally dedicate the leap year to Obatala, the year of the elephant feast. Yeah? Now, coming back to the traditions.
Benny.
In our tradition, you see there are certain things we do, like when setting up, after you finish issue, you set up 3 candles in front of the drummer, you see the calabash of water. This is not secret because a person can come in and see that you're going to put. The question is where some people put that calabash of water. And there's a reason for that calabash of water and the 3 candles.
Benny.
Because the person who is playing the drum is supposed to be able to look into that candle, okay, and see the status of the elay. You can do that, look into the candle and see the status of the elay. So if it is you were keeping feast in the bush in the colonial days, when the person on the yalu, the mother drum, is the center drum, and he's playing and he looks in that water, and he see police coming through the bush.
Wow.
Police coming through the bush to mash up the camp, because police would shoot you on sight.
In those days. See how far we come.
You see, in 1917 we had the Shouters Prohibition Ordinance, But no one talks about the fact that drums were illegal to play, African drums, from long before that and up to the 2000.
We had Chief Henry Antoine from the Rada community. He spoke about
that.
Everett Watson spoke about it. Olombe, even from the Sheshe community, they spoke about it.
They spoke about that, because this would prove your salt, your geffies. Prove it, because when the police come in, they say, "Boy, iba luge, olok pa botu, sheshe me otoba luba rushe." When you see the colonial authorities and the police coming up the hill, then he say what? Sheshe me otoba luba rushe. Then you'll see the work of Shango manifest. Because when that man do so with the kokoro, I say what you play, the skin, the stick you used to play the drum is called the kokoro. Key. When he take and he do so in the water and he spin that calabash, trust me, you're keeping your face and no police in disturbing you because they're lost in the bush.
Wow. Meshes.
This is what the work was. This is the candles, and there wasn't there for style.
The drummer is the one who doing this.
The main drummer. He's supposed to see. But the Mogba or the Amongba also supposed to be able to see what is happening through the candles. This is when you are appointed a priest. The spirit is so appointed a priest, you know. It didn't just grow up in it and take it up, you know. You can't go and say you're going and slay an animal without permission. How do you do that? You know it is to take up a cutlass, to go and take off a goat head. Okay? You didn't get that to do.
And you're going to do it.
And you're going to do that. Chances are you could lose a foot.
You could end up hurting yourself.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, and people...
That red band, you see the tie on the hand. That don't come so, you know. You can't just go and find out what's in that knot and just put it and tie it around your hand, you know, brother. It do work like that.
And that all goes back to Otoropon, Meiji. We are all called differently.
That's right.
We are all called differently, and we have to respect who was called to wash the pot, who was called to take off the animal head, who was called to throw the obi seed, who was called to sweep the palais. We have to respect everyone.
The Amogba or Amogba is the one who normally would throw the obi seed, or the Babalorisha or Iyalorisha of the... Because when you're making your offering, they don't just throw to see a yes or no. You throw to see the status of your offering.
Facts.
So that when the obi fall and you read the obi, you know, okay, so relationship, whatever, this, that, or the other, the obi will speak with you.
Jamie Simon says, have you ever seen Orishana manifested in any one of them yards?
Of course.
And they say he mostly manifests on virgins.
Not just virgins, Orishana or Obatala would manifest normally on older people who pass childbearing age generally. Because for you to get that manifestation, you had to do a lot of fasting and pray. Even though Obatala comes to you in dream or so, it doesn't mean he's going to manifest on you. Your body have to be properly prepared. So therefore, you'd see a very young person who is virgin. You see might shake or manifest on that person, very rare, or a person who is of full age, generally past, who is living, not just that, but living a life of purity. I'm telling you, these are the teachings that I had.
Sure.
Okay, as a young man, because as a young man I saw Obatala manifest. I saw some of the greatest Orisha, not just Obatala or Orun Miller, the teachings now is that Orumila can't manifest. Orumila Orisha, why can't manifest?
Baba, and what you said there to hide that Orisha manifests every single day of our lives.
Well, yes.
Even not just in the form of the human aspect in which we
right in front of our face.
Even in nature, even we just have to connect ourselves, and we will see how wondrous and how powerful our tradition is.
Let me tell you all a little story before the year comes on. In 1973, August 1973, it was my birthday, and as a young man, we roll a spliff, a big spliff, and a couple of us sat down, and we burned that spliff.
That was
1973.
Oh God! I wasn't
I'm
even
born
a
yet.
thought in my father's head.
Yeah.
That's why I'm an elder. We burned that spliff, big spliff, and then decided of it say, well, listen, we're going up in the Shango. So we left and went to buy Leader Lionel in Shango up in Dibe Long Circular. It's up on the hill, up on the mountain. You have to get with some difficulty, you'll reach up there. You have to pass over a canal and jump. You know what I mean? So, the three of us, we went up in the feast. My Leader Lionel. And as I walk in the yard, or sign was on somebody had come to someone's head, and or sign block me and hold me. I don't know where my head nice, you know.
Where do Baba?
That's a great question.
Yes.
And Osang gives me the sign. He does this. See, he's warning me. He's warning me. Osang is warning me. And then he says, how you do it? Because them spirit didn't used to talk plenty long time. There's more sign they're showing you. Smoking. So he's showing me smoking. Warning me, smoking. No more smoking.
Wow.
Hear me? So, you see, this is how we pick up our taboos. By the manifestation of good spirit. I'll tell you why. When he gave me that and warned me, he gave me this, we call it bracelet sign. People who know Orisha work would know the sign. Bracelet, police.
Do it again for them to see, Baba. Those who streaming on Facebook can see it, yeah.
Lock up a waiting.
Lock up a waiting. So, that was August 1973. And I decided to obey.
Ashe.
No, it's a good thing I decided
After
to
the
obey.
story, you'll go to the year, right?
Yes. I decided to obey. So, a little while after, month of October, I ran into a brother by the name of Babu, who some people would know, because he's an initiate. And Babu and I went to help out a brother called Anam Bankole.
I have
A member of NJAC.
I have Baba Mitchell calling in here.
Yes. We went.
Abora boy abo shishe.
Wato ishori wo yo fun.
Yes, Baba.
Wato.
You know, it is always a pleasure to be on this program and knowing that it is about Obatala.
Ipa Orisha.
Ipa Orisha o, Orisha Ipa.
Ah.
Knowing that many of our elders showed so much respect for Obatala. Baba, do you know this song that they sing for the elders when they are having ceremonies for Obatala?
Which one, Baba? Talk to me.
Ye chitelegbo koloko agba.
Yes.
Ye chitelegbo koloko agba. Ichitelegbo koloko agba. Chitelegbo
koloko agba. Yes, of course.
And the elders will get up and dance and show absolute respect for Obatala.
Yes.
Absolute respect for Obatala. Because we must remember all was not lost.
Sure.
All was not lost. Sure. Yes, we've been through chattel slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, our foreparents, some of them choose to come to the Caribbean because they knew for a fact that we had a purpose to be here, a reason to be in the Caribbean. And knowing the Obatala Festival is coming up, knowing that the Obatala Festival is coming up, we have to invite the whole of Trinidad and Tobago to experience, Baba, what we have been experiencing for many years when we keep in the Elufa ceremony. Hello?
Yes, we hearing you.
Yes, when we are keeping the Elufa ceremony. Baba, did you speak about that tonight?
Not really. The Elufa, we just mentioned it in passing that on a leap year, we normally dedicate the whole year to Obatala. As the Elufa or Elefun. The owner of white cloth, the owner of the white of the Efun, the Olufon, the king of Ifon. He said, we call him Alabalashe. Obata patapani le yonje. Oyo kele otami lore. Ogba agiri lo wosika. Ofe ile eni oshoto lowo. Bible. It was, and you know this prayer is a old prayer.
you know, as they say, may Obatala continue to, clear our paths.
Yes.
May our lives always be safe.
And may he,
the owner of the white cloth.
Yes.
The energy that also helps to bind this universe together with that beautiful level of morality.
It's the level of morality that is so impressive. Because when you're a child of Obatala, there are certain things you cannot do.
So true. Eh?
You're expected to live a very virtuous life. No skullduggery.
As a chant, no. That cannot exist. That cannot exist. Even when we chant this chant, Obatala iwo lorami iwo ikuki ikoji sheo iwo.
Yes.
Obatala iwo lorami iwo.
Yes.
Ikuki ikoji sheo iwo.
Yes.
Sure.
Iku cannot take the children of Obatala, the devotees of Obatala.
Ashe.
Obatala will always go first and clear the roads and ensure that we are all right.
Facts.
Yes.
We have true superheroes.
Sure.
And it is high time our community knows that. It is high time they recognize the strength and power that we possess as a people.
Yes. Ashe.
We don't need any other. We have all that we need.
Ashe.
We have all that we need.
Ben,
that is quite true.
we have all that we need.
And then
all
especially with Obatala, we have all that we need. But the problem is that Obatala is not just a spirit. Obatala is also a way of life. And when you choose to follow the path of Obatala, it is expected that your white is not, you're not supposed to stain your white with the how is it? The
palm oil.
The palm oil.
So true, eh? So true.
And you know, remember traditionally we give Obatala a little olive oil. We never give him anything with color.
No, absolutely none.
Yeah.
Even that ceremony that the elders did, where they came together and they had to do the leap year ceremony with the offering of the malu or the cow.
The cow, yes.
Right? That was not. That is actually to feed our people.
Yes.
It is actually to feed our people, because at that time, to get a cow, Baba, how much money that was costing you?
A little too much for the ordinary person.
How
And
much
this
it
is
was
why,
costing you to buy?
you know, this is why that feast was a feast of elevation.
Ben.
When you were given the elephant feast, it was because you were elevated beyond now the normal feast. You now have gone to a different level, because now you can feed the community.
Exactly.
And that was the blessing.
You understand?
That was that blessing.
You understand Iwapele, Iwalewa, Iwalaye, and Niaigidi. You are now at that position where you understand that you are part of
the community.
You are part of the everything.
And this is why people in your community would be coming to you. They keep coming because because your standard being elevated is seen by all.
Facts.
So therefore your community, even though some people they want a bad talk behind your back, yet when they have a problem, is you they run into.
Facts.
Exactly so. Exactly
they
so.
Run into you,
and
because
you know that has never changed, eh?
But you saw it with your mom.
Yes, of course, it never changed. It was the same. It remained the same. And a matter of fact, as we know, when that particular ceremony is going on, we know this, Baba. If Oshun is your mother, your Olu, your Olu is Kabiesi, Shongo, whoever is your Olu, the ribbons that you tie around the neck of the animal must represent your Ori. Yes. It must represent your Olu. It must represent the life that you're living as a devotee of Kabesi, a devotee of Oshun, a devotee of Iya or Moija or Yamonja.
Those are the ribbons around that they would tie around the cattle, and you would hold that ribbon. Now remember, everything you're doing in this feast is genuine prayer. To touch that cattle, to tie that ribbon, you actually feel the energy.
So you're trying to say people who are attending this ceremony, they must at least fast and put themselves in a frame of mind, because this is at different heights. This is a different because from listening to the conversation, because it going sweet, you know what I mean? From listening to the conversation, as Baba Okan says, is a different elevation. So before you attend the ceremony, correct me, you must have a sense of cleansing of yourselves and putting yourself in a frame of mind before attending the ceremony. Is that so, Baba?
Of course.
100% correct.
Of course. Obatala is the one who molded our Ori. And we not all the children of Obatala.
Benny.
Whenever we discover, when we leave our room and we are now on Aye, and you go to a nice trusted Babalawo, you go to someone and you discover, or you go to the elders and they say, listen, your family were always Shongo people. That's your family Orisha. You now have to learn about Kabiesi. But you know what's the funny thing? When it is time for Obatala, you ain't coming dressed in red. You're not coming dressed in yellow.
At all.
You're coming dressed in white. To show respect and solidarity.
That's right.
For the Orisha, who is responsible for making you.
But you can't take part in the procession if you're not dressed in white. For you to take part in Obatala,
you can't even enter the yard.
You understand? Well, some places they allow you to enter the yard, but you can't take part in the procession. And not only that, but if you're coming a different color, it also says that you didn't prepare
Benny
to take part in this.
Benny.
Because
what used to happen
process,
on the
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they used to open at the Ileogun in Belmont, Ugunamechi. We used to buy extra clothes. Extra clothes. We will buy sometimes $5,000-$6,000 in extra clothes and cloth to ensure that even if somebody cannot afford, no, you come. You have white clothes here.
That's right.
You have white clothes here.
Yeah.
Because we know the significance. So when we share the meat, it is spreading throughout Trinidad, all over. Somebody will have something and will remember that day.
And you remember, and long time, if I remember well, all the meat after shout before sunset.
Before sunset.
All the meat after shout. All.
Before sunset, you must get rid of every piece of it. Meat. And particular things will be done with the head and the feet and so on.
Of course.
Particular ceremonies will be done. You know, the saltless ceremonies will be done. You know, the elders will do what they have to do in their sacred spaces.
Of course.
And as they said before me, that you're not supposed to cry. Do not cry. Do not cry. Be joyful that you are experiencing what you are experiencing today.
And yet, Baba, this was all dependent on your preparation.
Benny.
It was dependent on your, because if as a person, because you know there are people in the faith who they don't care left, right, center or whatever. They are looking to prepare for nothing.
Yes.
Because it have cattle fees going up are going. They end up taking the load. Yeah. You see, all the thing that had to, all the load that had to come out and leave that yard will go with such a person.
Yes. Ben,
they'll help to the
load. I remembered, you know, clear as the before my mother took flight, before she departed from this physical form of existence. I remember clearly Olombi's sister, right? Very young. Obatala came on her. Obatala manifested on her.
Yes, I think she was a young child at the time. I was 12 or 13, somewhere there.
Benny. And when we were trying to carry her into the sacred space, man, listen. I was an old boxer. I used to run my sand track and all that. And we couldn't lift her. We couldn't move her.
That is that's part of his oriki. There's an Orikito Obatala. What? The one who is too heavy to be lifted?
Exactly. And that energy revealed particular things and said particular things that I'm seeing now. Also, Obatala manifested on my mother for the first time and said particular things, and I'm seeing it now. May we continue to grow.
May we continue to grow.
May we continue to elevate.
Yes.
Because that was many years ago. And both of the manifestations pointed in the direction of where Obala is living now. That energy pointed in particular directions and said, this is where I am going to reside. Listen to me. When we speak of the truths of our tradition, we need to talk to people who experience particular things in this beautiful land we call Trinidad and Tobago. I am seeing it now where Obala, Olishanla, O Alagogo, Ojelo,
Akora Ojelo.
Agora.
Yes, Baba.
May we continue to rise. Baba Shaka.
Benny.
Awo.
How are you, Baba?
Dadani.
Peace and blessings.
Dadani wadu.
Peace and blessings.
Bawonyo.
Dadani.
May we continue to rise. May you continue to rise, my brother. May everybody on this beautiful panel continue to elevate and move into that place of light, into that place of peace, into that place of superior consciousness, where we will be able to see each other, not as enemies, but as brothers, who in time will become Igugu. In time, we are not here to turn stone, but may we continue to move in the direction where the marks that we will make upon our year will be so big that they will not be able to cover it.
Ashe.
They will not be able to cover it. They will not be able to say that we did not do anything. May Olodumare continue to bless and keep and preserve Kosiku, Kosiofo, Kosiarun, Kosiejo.
Ashe, Baba.
May we continue to move forward. What's Adina? May we never see the deaths of our foreparents. May we continue to rise and just like the light of Obatala, that light that cannot be dimmed. The light that cannot be dimmed. There's a story about Obatala where somebody ripped Obatala's child into pieces, and his wife came home. Yemu came home and said, Obatala, Kabiesi, they just killed your son. Obatala said, what? No, I'm going for them. And on his way, he realized, but the people who did that is also my children. How could I take their lives? We have to remember humility. Humility. Without humility, without suru, we are going nowhere.
Benny.
And may we continue to move and shake our community. May we continue to wake them up.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Love, peace, and blessings to everyone. Odabo.
Odabo, Baba. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Blessings,
May you be
blessings.
blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. Yes, so
Iril Opolopo.
So that was Baba Mitchell there. I'm going to get on to Iapul to Springer.
Yes.
You know, the conversation was so nice. It was so sweet. Aboro aboye aboshishe ya.
Hello.
Hello ya.
Ekale ya.
Ekale.
You're live on the Orisha We Have Live on the Sheet 919 FM.
Okay, all right. Well, Ekale to everyone listening.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, yeah, we hearing you.
Yes, well, I'm just saying Ekale to everyone listening, and blessings of the Malay and the ancestors.
Benny.
Eshe, yeah.
So yeah, the conversation tonight is about, because we're celebrating the Obatala Festival on the 30th of January, and we want your aspect, because we're going to have the conversation with linking up with you was because of the connection that Obatala has with this time of the year in Trinidad and Tobago. It's called Carnival. We're not having any Carnival,
Well, we have to be careful how we say we're not having any Carnival, because we have opened the portals to a Carnival. Remember, the first carnivals that the Africans celebrated were in celebration of emancipation. We opened that portal then as a way of celebrating emancipation.
Ashe.
Okay? And we celebrated with masquerade. The masquerade that we brought from the motherland and the masquerade that we created in this part of the world.
Benny.
So the portal, that carnival portal, is sacred for us and part of our celebration of emancipation. And it is a date that we have made with the universe. And we have to be very careful of falling into other people's notion of what carnival is.
Beautiful.
Carnival for us is a sacred ritual of remembrance of our ancestors.
Facts.
Our freedom, our emancipation, and more than anything else, the fight that we fought to have our liberation. So African people mustn't get tied up in stupidness. You might not be able to go in the road and parade as a band, but is that carnival? Is that carnival for us? We have to be careful and center the world around us. Okay, but that's not what you call theater.
No, yeah, you go ahead, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I am very perturbed by this. And I don't know that anything can stop people like me, for instance, on the morning of the Kambule, doing a ritual to remember the Egungun masquerade that was chased off the streets for hundreds of years. Our heroes, one of the first heroes, Joe Talmana, and the scorned barricade men and women of the newly emancipated Africans, popularly now known as cockroaches, who stood up against the might of the British constabulary and beat them with the help of their ancestors and the belief in their ancestors and in their warrior power, Ogun, and in their warrior mother, Mama Oshun. So, don't stop me. Don't stop me. So, all they call to ask me about Obatala.
Yes, yeah.
Now, my Bunji, we people enslave us, beat us, rape us, exploit us in every form, and then tell us that we must forgive them because they are good books, and you know we forgive them. Ay. We believe that there is one people's version of the creation. I ain't come from nobody's rib.
Point.
I know that the God that I serve has male and female energy.
Ashe.
You understand? and we have to be very careful and be very wary of a Eurocentric version of the world. And we have a story, we have a mythology that is totally different.
Facts.
So, in the beginning, there was water, and water, and a whole expanse of water. And the great Olokun, the father of the great waters, was there. And Obatala, the great Himalayan, looked down and he looked down and he looked down and he thought and he thought and he thought and he had an idea. And he said, I would like to see a place where we could go down and have a good time and live and enjoy and, you know. And he thought and he thought and he thought. And then he went to Ibikeji Eludumare. And he said to Oromela, Baba, you know, I just watched down at all this water and things. And I feel we could create a place, you know, where we could go down, where the Himalaya could go down and things. And Obatala said, hey, you think you could do that, boy? He said, yes, Baba, but I come to you because you is the PKG Ludumare and you are the father of wisdom and I'm looking for you to guide me with plenty respect. I come. Obatala smile and he said, all right. But you have to get some things, and you have to get a long chain. Well, there's a gold chain. Well, you know, that story couldn't happen now because people chain with that, people with that. But anyway, in the creation story, so Batala had to get a gold chain, he had to get some special dirt, and he had to get
Twisted sand?
he had to get a hen and
some sand.
He had to get leaf and thing. I forget it. Sorry now. Anyway, so Oromela tell him, well, hang down the chain and you have to climb down and thing. And Oromela take the chain and he start to go down. And go down. And Oromela sing him on the way, go down, blah, blah, go down. But why tell them all this story this hour of the night?
Yeah, you know what Iya is doing there is telling the story out of Ubarashe.
Why telling all the story? That's already
When about
you are edifying us here.
And of course, you're a master storyteller.
Yeah. So the other Malay watching and they take the little drum and they drumming and they singing, go down, Obatala, go down. And the Malay say, hey, don't confuse him, you know, when he reach a certain way, you have to drop that dot and thing and, you know. Anyway, I'm not telling all the no story, that's already nice. And
that's a whole Udu there. A whole
I don't read so far, so
Udu
but I
verse
reach
that
down,
she was speaking about there.
And to cut a long story short, take the dot and spread it and thing and create a dry land. The hen, that's what he brings, scratch it and spread it and plant the palm seed and all of that will go on. And then he have the work now to create the human being from the special mud that he did bring. And Obatala set about his task lovingly. And out of this special creation mud, that special dirt, carved the first human being lovingly and reverentially. And so, in the Lavantil, in the East Dry River, where maybe about 6,000 Yoruba people came after 1807, at the end of the trade in our ancestors. The mythology, the belief, the spirituality of Yoruba people spread in that area. And in fact, there are shrines now existing that have been there for over 100 years. And there are so many examples of how Yoruba cosmology became entrenched in our culture. So much so that, particularly at carnival time, when the Gelede masquerade transformed into the satirical portrayal of the Dame Lorraine Ball, when the Egungun Pero and Mokojambi walk abroad, when the Midnight Robber wears the hat of the Ianifa Oshun.
Wow.
And where we take the mud and recreate ourselves in the Juve, in the beginning of all things, in the beginning of the mass, that parallels the beginning of our humanity. And the transference of the Juve into the creation mythology. And?
Ashe, yeah. This story is so interesting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful, eh?
And she's making it very, very attractive for you.
But she's a storyteller.
She's a great storyteller.
A great poet.
That's what we should be teaching our children.
Facts.
That's quite true.
Yeah.
Instead of Humpty Dumpty, sat on the wall.
And Snow White.
Yeah, but you see the English people and the Humpty Dumpty and all them things. We don't understand that because they too have deep political significance that strive to the history and politics of the British. Everybody have their thing.
True. Humpty Dumpty's for the British.
But we have other people thing.
But Brian Nancy's for us.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, long I
Yeah, but
about
even
one.
the and Nancy, we have to be careful because Brian Nancy has been distorted, so totally distorted into a worthless fella who don't mind each rent, who greedy, who
Clumsy and all kind
all
of
of
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Let's pass it through the
And
European
Nancy
colonizers.
has been deliberately portrayed like that. And Nancy is really Kwaku Nancy, the god of wisdom of the Akan people, who are the most feared fighters against enslavement in this region. So much so that in some countries they ban the importation of Akan as enslaved people. Bookman, the great Jamaican who was deported to Haiti as an enslaved and was a critical role in the Haitian
Revolution.
Rebellion, was Akan. There were Akan revolutions in Suriname. The whole maroon thing in Jamaica
Yes,
was
none of the
Akan.
Maroons
In
was Akan.
Barbados,
Yep.
in Antigua, in Tobago in 1770, Akan revolution, you know. So if you have, and the Akan went into the world with their Obia, and that is where the word Obia come from, OBIA. And they went fearless, conquer or die was Bookman's cry. It's better to die fighting bravely than to live in enslavement.
Yes, correct. Ashe.
So they distorted the story of Anansi and made him worthless when he's really the symbol of resistance and the symbol of our ability to adapt and change and to as the Jamaicans say, to play dead to catch Kobo alive or play dead to catch wise. You know? So with the wisdom and Nancy, we say, yes, master. No, master. All right, master. Yes, master. Anything you say, master. And when master send it back, we put poison in the food. Or mash up the gate and them so the animals will go through.
I just want to touch on some. I just want to touch on some of the comments here. Yeah, and Zinga Reed says Carnival is magic, much more than what the media portrays it to be. Way too important for us to cast aside. May we learn and do better. Asheo. Jamie Simmons says, long ago the ancestors had that Obatala attributes because no matter how we was treated, their prayers never went in vain. It was for us, the generations to come. They had patience and they obeyed their slave masters and they conquered them with obedience and discipline. Because one day it will all stop and we are here free.
Sure.
So true.
Well, we mustn't confuse the obedience thing, you know. The obedience thing, as I just explained, was strategy. We fought in a lot of ways. We fought in open rebellion. We fought in subterfuge. We fought in satire. We fought by insisting that our culture live and survive despite the suppression.
Sure.
So we have to be very careful.
Facts,
The
yeah.
obedience thing is a lot of the time very much an anansi.
And yeah, one of the key players in those rebellions were the strong support of the women.
Of course.
The women who
The woman energy.
Benny.
The Janet in Kambule. The beginning of the play is Mama Oshun. And Mama Oshun comes, and we know the mythology of Mama Oshun, that when the men of Aye, the great Imale, were getting the tail cut, you know, and they went to complain to Oludumare. Oludumare said, well, where Oshun? And the mother said, well, she in the back there, from any arm. And Oludumare said, well, left she there now. Antifa will win in any battle and leave them there. And they went and get Oshun. And in her beauty and grace and warriorhood, the combination of feminine energy and warriorhood, she went the battle.
The one who grows her beard to fight war.
Tell you,
The one who grows her beard to fight war.
They say that for Oya and for Oshun. The one who grows the beard to fight war. But I think they say it more for Oya.
So a woman too have to understand the role that we have always played.
Facts.
You know, the Jamet woman of the barricade who stood tall, the feminine energy, the feminine essence, that is so critical.
The way about Oshun Pashanga.
I'm gonna take this call here.
I am just here to say, if I was looking for another reason why I should love N2 Springer, if I was looking, but I was not looking for more reason to love this woman. But here's another one. Oh, how I enjoyed her. Thank you so much.
We give thanks. We give thanks.
Give thanks.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Iya, for calling.
Okay.
Power.
May the blessings of Oludumare, of all the Himalayas,
Thank
of
you.
all the Orisa, be on all of us. Today is a special day. For me, today is the birthday of my mother, who passed about 20 years ago. She was strong and dread and wise and a battler and a warrior. You know, we came from real material poverty. You hear what I say? Material poverty. I have lived in an abandoned cocoa estate house in Hololo. I've never felt poor. I have said my mother's skirt, a threadbare magical matrix of protection, painted folkloric pictures. And when she talk about the latter blessed, and that foot that turned wrong and that long white dress, and she say, be careful, what beautiful outside might be ugly inside. And you might pick up somebody and you don't know what hiding under the long dress. Be careful. You're setting up yourself to get upset. You know, the wisdom of the ancients. How do we get the children to respect that? How do we get them to know the bush in the yard? I try to get mine to walk and show them the zebra pig. It didn't pay for me to wash my eye. You know? This is what's up. How do we pass on? We have work to do that we're not doing. In these simple ways to root our children in themselves so they're not led astray. And they're carried away by this technology, not understanding that who is the father of all the technology. And that we smelting iron long before the rest of the world knew about it. You know, and we talking the carnival, and we talking the pan, and we neglect the fact that this gift from the great Ogun, father of creativity, father of all metal, owner of the house of money. If we take this gift and treat it with respect, we will want for nothing in this country.
True.
But because it comes from African belly, you know. But I just get very passionate when I'm talking about these things. So let me leave all your children and bless all you.
May you be blessed also, yeah.
Long life,
yes,
good health, continued
Yes,
wisdom.
I need that. I need that. I need that.
Ajagbo, Ajato, Ajaye, reading.
All good things to you.
Blessings. Let me leave all this.
Thank you for calling. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, God bless. Okay.
Blessings.
So that was another
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Put across edifying. Phone calls keep coming in here. Aboshi.
Greetings, my brother.
Greetings.
When I hear all you every Monday, I feel great. Mr. Duke? Brother Duke?
Yes, I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I a big leader from Basta Hall, Cuba.
Okay.
I Mother B.
You call a good name there. You came from Mother B?
About Mother B grandson.
Ebewe. Mother B was one of the early ones from Niza?
Right. You know Mother Millie from Barataria?
Of course.
That is my mother. Carnal mother.
Oh my God. You're talking to somebody here, man. This is a man you need to bring on the program.
Well, I got do my cemetery work until. A very good in my circle work. But I'm not the type of person who does the like showtime. A very, very, very good. I could do things that you can't even have to do. You feel, Brother Duke?
Yes, I'm listening.
You could go in a cemetery and make smoke come out from a unknown grave?
Kola, I believe. Yeah, this IFA Orisa way of life, I'll keep saying this over and over. This show is not about that. This show is not about giving people. We are trying to make the citizens, the listening public, people to understand and get away from that bad reputation that Orisa is some evilest thing. Because trust me, if only understand the way and life of IFA, trust me, they're nothing better than IFA.
We know that practice have nothing to do with Orisa. This is another aspect of spirituality.
What up? Beautiful program. I enjoy the sister Springer there. You know, and I since I used to go, not used to, when they started the Cambule on Duke Street. And once I missed that Cambule, about 2 years ago, because of a friend of mine, I never missed the Cambule. Because I always believe that when Cambule is the genesis and the beginning of this whole carnival. After Cambule, carnival done for me. Apart from the pan, carnival done for me. Because I've seen, you see, and when I go to Cambule, I feel my ancestors all around me. You know, sir? I feel them within me. So I have this love for understanding what took place at that time, you know. So I love it. Sister Entune Springer, one of the greatest storytellers. You understand? We have she's not easy. The brother come there, somebody came there just now to kind of mess up this program.
They can't mess it up.
I know you try to, but I tell you something, I don't know much of the Swahili. You know, I know 1 or 2 words. I have a book and things that I, you know, just with names and things that I give to people who want it. But I know the Ethiopian language. I know that. I study that. You know. But other than that, but it's a wonderful program and it's so beautiful. I remember once they had a drumology in the town hall some years ago for emancipation, and when those drums started, I was standing and I actually feel those drums moving me. The ancestors were wrong there. And you see this thing about forgive your friends and enemies. The things that they did to us, they knew what they were doing, the evil and wicked that they were doing, they put it in the book. So what they were doing now, they knew that at some point in time we would recognize it and we would do it back to their generation. So they put it in such a way to forgive your enemies. So you forgive their generation. Have a good evening and you too.
Thank you very much. Yes. So, this person has been calling for a while.
Okay.
Abora boy abo shishe.
Alafia. I just want to put a notice that the African Voice has opened for shareholding for individual members and groups. Persons who wishing to purchase, you can purchase 200 shares for individual or 500 shares for group. And we are in the process. Hello?
Yes, we are listening. We are listening.
We are in the process of doing our 25th anniversary. It's the longest publishing African newspaper in the Caribbean. My number is 463-6671. Thank you.
Caller, could you take my number and call me after the show? 349-4121. I'd like to speak with you.
349-4121?
Yes, 4121. So you can call me anytime 9:10, right? Thanks very much for calling. So we want to make this clear that if our Orisha is not about that, whatever you decide to do, because we was in bondage for so much years. People like Aaron Falami, Paniza, Mother Connors, these people who paved the way for us. And we are here now. We are standing on their backs. They paved the way. They took the licks. Like Chief Antoine said, you could not have done anything. You're making jail again, lock up. And for some people to come with this foolishness, we're not tolerating that. IFA is not about that.
I myself got caught because when I heard the connections, I got caught.
He pulled the rod so it okay, and he started pulling it slow. But then they started pull back.
And then to hear that nonsense, I mean,
Shakada is always shy, way.
Oh my God.
All I will say is, when Orisha has to show themselves, they are here to nurture and to teach. We are not about scaring people and making it seem as if our thing is it's some Halloween story. When Orisha come, they are here to nurture.
Caller. No? Yes, caller. I need nothing there.
Yeah, so when Orisha come, they are here to nurture and teach. And we have to keep pushing that for people to understand. It is not about scaring and this and that and fire and smoke and all kind of thing like that. It's not like that. And that is not the agenda of the show at all.
But it also shows too that sometimes a person may come from a particular background and go off key.
Way off key. That's
where they really them.
The key breakout kind of thing just now there, but we not have that. This we just try to do is about bringing out the truth. This is the last call I'll be taking for night about Robo Yabo Shishi.
Alafia to the goodly panel.
She Alafia.
Yeah man, I really enjoy your program tonight.
Yeah. These are regular caller here, not the voice.
Yes.
Yeah. That man come at a kind of low frequency vibes there in truth.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, you know? That kind of thing and
yeah, but he ain't get through.
She can't get through.
I just wanted to say to the lady now, what's her name? Springer?
Pearl and two Springer.
Actually, Dr. Springer.
Dr. Springer, yes. It's for correct, Baba.
I like how you calling her. Yeah, that's something kind of, respectful.
Yeah.
It is.
I always used to wonder about those Anansi stories. If you understand what I'm saying.
We are 1 minute a caller because
Yeah. I'm going now. I just wanted to mention to her, I wish I could bring her at the beginning of the program to continue that story where she started with. And I want to tell her thanks for speaking about the history of the Anansi story, because there was something inside of me that says something wrong with how the Anansi story being portrayed. And I really do appreciate her storytelling and, how she put across the history and stuff like that. Pleasant good night, everybody.
Pleasant good night.
Yes, so David Mohammed is here. with the black agenda. He's always fired and ready to go. So as we say, Awaro soro ilewaro, Awaro soro ilewaro, Awaro soro ilewaro, Awaro soro ilewaro. Esenkam kumbre, oye, esenkam kumbre, Awaro soro ilewaro, Awaro solewaro, Imaniko playo, soro, Awaro solewaro. We shall fulfill our traditional rights.
We shall
fulfill our traditional rights.
We shall fulfill our
traditional rights. Nothing will stop us from fulfilling our traditional rights. We shall fulfill our traditional rights. We've come to the end of another electrifying, educating, and edifying IFA Orisa way of life on the Sheet 919 FM. May Oludumare guide and protect us and keep us away from all harm and danger. Ashe.
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 Woo. That's quite a program tonight. I'm telling you.